Hey everybody, how you doing? Good. Welcome to the first ever Raise the Roof celebration. This is a bit new for us, for the future North End Community Center. I was just talking with my friend RJ. I asked RJ, what are you most excited about for the new North End Community Center?
Probably the basketball court.
Basketball court, you a big basketball fan? I want to give a quick shout out to the Rice Rec Check program who are here today. Raise your hand if you're in the Rec Check program. Whoop, whoop. Thank you all for being here. This community center is yours, and it's going to be done next year, probably in the spring, late fall. Timeline pending, but we're super excited about it, and we're going to do a short program today to recognize a lot of folks that made this happen. But you are the centerpiece today, and thank you for being here. We have a lot of people to thank, but we will do that throughout this program. I do want to call out specifically the park staff, Alice Messer, Dave Ronzani, Christopher Stark, for really spearheading this project. And all of our local and state elected officials who really made the funding come through for this project and made it a reality. So thank you so much. You look like you want to say something. You want to say something? No, you're good. Okay. Just making sure. You were looking at me like, can I have the mic, sir? So with that, we have a short program, and then what's that? All right, got you. I'll get you at the end. We have a short program today with a few speakers, and we have, like I said, we have a lot of people to thank, and we'll do that throughout this process. And then when it's over, we'll all get in a line, and we'll have a chance to sign this back here before they raise it and put it on top of the roof. So super exciting. You get to put your initials or your signature in there, so you're a part of this building when it's all said and done. So we're super excited about that. But with that, I will close, and I will introduce Mayor Melvin Carter to say a few words.
There we go. I pressed the button. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to your rec center. Do you like it? Yeah. I am so excited that we get to raise the roof. You know what it means to raise the roof? Everybody go like that. That's how we raise the roof. We're going to raise the roof for this rec center. And did you hear what Director Rodriguez said? He didn't say this was the rec center. He didn't even say this is a rec center. He said this is what?
Our rec center.
That's right. That's my favorite part of all of this, that it is your rec center. It is your rec center. It is all of our rec center. You know, doing something like this is really hard to do. And there's the work of building it and hammering and putting the bricks together and all that type of stuff. And that's really hard to do. Let's give a big round of applause for everybody who's doing that work. And then there's the work of putting it all together on paper and making the dollars work and all that type of stuff. Where's our city staff? Would you come up again so we can see you and give you a round of applause? Alice, team, where are you guys at? Give them a big round of applause. They're the ones who figured out how to make it work on paper. But just because you can figure out how to make it work on paper, guess what? We still got to figure out how to get the paper to make it work and make sure it's funded. And we had a lot of friends who helped us do that. We have a lot of friends right here from our St. Paul legislative delegation. I see you, Representative Hussein. It's good to see you. I see you, Representative Issa. It's great to see you. I see. Who else do I see around here? I definitely see Chair Pappas, Senator Verbatim. It's great to see you as well. Thank you all so much. Representative Hollins, it's great to see you here as well. Thank you all so much. They helped us put together the dollars to make this work. Give them a big round of applause, would you please? So let me finish telling you this first, because this is really important to me. And let me tell you, I was just telling a couple of you guys, the reason I am who I am is because just like you have your rec center here, I grew up with my rec center. And I got a chance to be in there, and I got a chance to meet adults who cared about me, and I got a chance to have friends who I'm still friends with to this day, and I got a chance to learn about stuff that I needed to know about. I got a chance to take cooking classes and take guitar lessons and take piano lessons and go roller skating on Fridays and all of those types of things that I'm just a better person for. And one of the reasons I wanted to be mayor so bad is because it's important to me that you have the opportunity to do all that same cool stuff that I got the opportunity to do. So I'm really excited that this is going to be here to make that possible for all of us here on the North End. Give a big round of applause for that, would you please? So I want to give a shout out to our architect, Snow Krylik. Are you guys here? Where are you guys at? There we go. The folks who put this together, Donler Construction Company. This is the closest audience I've given a speech to today. I have to say. And we already mentioned our St. Paul legislative delegation, but it cannot go without saying this doesn't happen without the investment that you guys made in capital investment. We really appreciate that. This has been a dream and a vision for us at the city for a long time, and your investment to just literally put your money where your mouth is and say, we're going to be a community that cares about our children. We're going to love our community, not just in words, not just in tweets, but we're going to create the resources to have a space like this and a space where there's never been one in our community before. That really means a lot. So I want to say thank you for that. I see Chair Martinson in the room space. You know, one of the things that I love is we always talk about that this is a team sport. And we have Chair Martinson here, who's been a champion for this neighborhood forever. We have our library director, Maureen Hartman, here. If you want to know more about her, you just read the newspaper today. There's a great profile of her in the newspaper today. We have a lot of members of our city team here and our county team here because everybody had to work together to make sure that this came together in the way that it really needed to. So I definitely want to thank all the different partners who worked together to make this happen. This is really important. Now listen, the city has been working on this for a long time. 2017 is when the city started kind of putting everything together. But let me tell you, one of the things you have to know is before you do your homework tonight, you got to think about your homework tonight. Right? If you play sports, before you pass the ball to one of your teammates, you got to think about passing the ball to one of your teammates. So everything that we do, oh, you know what? And I'm sorry, I digress. One more thing. With our Parks and Rec staff who's going to work this building, who makes these spaces work for our children, you wave your hand too so we can give you guys a big, huge round of applause. Because I get to give a lot of speeches about real work that other people do. So I got to make sure that we acknowledge the folks who are doing the real work. And speaking of the real work, I have to introduce to you somebody who's been a friend of mine for about 12 years now, who I got a chance to sit next to when we were on the city council together, who represents this area on the St. Paul City Council. And the reason I was saying that before you do your homework, you got to think about it, and before you pass the ball to somebody, you got to think about it, is because we have thought leaders in our community who think about this stuff and who work really, really hard. And we're excited to be here as we talk about that big team. I see Councilmember Ballinger from Ward 1. It's great to see you here. I see Councilmember Tolbert. I saw Councilmember Tolbert from Ward 3 as well. There you are. It's great to see you here as well. And we are fortunate to be in the ward that's represented by our city council president. You ready to meet the president? We are fortunate to be in the ward that's represented by our city council president, someone who was doing the work of getting this building done way before that 2017 date that I was just talking about. Somebody who's been dreaming and talking and begging and screaming and making sure everybody knew that you deserve a brand new state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar recreation center. Give a big, 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 big round of applause for our St. Paul City Council President, Amy Brimhorn. Woo! Now you get to come on this very tiny stage, very closely.
This is really close. It's cool. It's cool. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. And you're going to need to indulge me because I'm going to express duplicate gratitude. But I wanted to just start out and introduce myself again. My name is Amy Brenmone. I'm the president of the St. Paul City Council. And I represent Ward 5, which includes the North End, Como, and a big chunk of Payne-Phelan neighborhood. So a lot of ground that I cover. 12 years ago, probably even 12 years ago to the date, I was out knocking on doors trying to get elected to this seat. I wasn't the council president, wasn't a council member, and I was knocking on doors and talking to people. And on the doors in this neighborhood, people told me that they felt kind of forgotten. They felt like they really were underrepresented and that they wanted more investment and more support. And once elected, I heard a lot of people talking about Frogtown and the East Side and that we need to invest in those neighborhoods. And I thought, yes, that is true, but what about the North End? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the North End. The North End, this is astounding data. 33% of the people who live on the North End are under the age of 17. 60% of the people who live in the North End are under the age of 34. So it's a really, really young community. 24% of the people who live in the North End identify as Black, African American, African. 26% are white. 25% are Asian American, 9% Hispanic American. So a very, very diverse neighborhood. 30% of the people who live in the North End were not born in the United States of America. There is one single coffee shop. There is one small youth serving nonprofit. There is one food shelf in this community where 60% of the people are under the age of 34. There's no YMCA. There's no YWCA. There's no Boys and Girls Club. There's no Salvation Army. So every day since I've been elected, I ask, what about the North End? When my friend Mayor Carter ran for mayor, he asked me for his support, and I said, yes, of course, you know I am with you, but I got to ask you one favor. When you say Frogtown in the East Side, would you also say in the North End? And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And he started doing it. And it's like it's caught on, right? My friend Tristan Martinson was running for county commissioner, and she asked me for support. And I said, what about the North End? And she's like, yeah, Rice Street needs to be reconstructed, and it needs to be better to serve the people in our community. And you know what? It's happening. Rice Street is going to be reconstructed starting in 18 months? Next year. What? Woo! So we got some good folks on board early on. My legislative aide, Kim O'Brien, Jeremiah Welter, Hannah Rearder, Yer Chang, Gina Stokes, Alyssa Lassard, all said, what about the North End, Amy? What are we going to do here? We need a community center. Thank you for planting that seed. That's your Rex team that planted that seed, and my policy aide, Kim O'Brien, at the time. I'm like, we got the mayor on board. He was pretty excited. He started earmarking some money. He said, okay, Alice Messer, Dave Ronzani, Chris Stark, you guys can all work on this project. My council colleagues, Mr. Ballinger wasn't with us at the time, but you would have been. Mr. Stark was. Mr. Tolbert. My whole council colleagues group was like, do this, Amy. Get it done. Get some money and get this community center done. We're hearing you ask all the time, what about the North End? And this is where we're going to serve the community. Michael John Pease from the St. Paul Parks Conservancy said, what can I do to help on the North End? He's on board. He's going to help us. He got the Vikings on board. I mean, yeah, this is true. Hua Jung Kim joined me as a legislative aide, and she's like, what about the North End? I want a community center, someplace where I can like see it from my house. And I'm like, can do. We're going to get that done. I looked to Shayna and to Erica about suggesting that maybe we get the youth commissioners that were in Washington Tech and Como High School and wanted to know what we could do for the North End. And we said, you know what? We think you can help. We got Nancy Haas, a longtime Como and North End advocate and government lobbyist, who said, let's put all these people to work at the legislature. Get those youth commissioners out in front of our legislators. Representative Hollins was not even sworn in, and I said, what about the North End? And she's like, I'm so in. Let's get this done. I don't even know how to do it, but I'm going to get it done. Fortunately, we had Senator Pappas, who quickly joined on board, and she does know how to get stuff done. So she was a great partner to have. Thank you to both of you. And then not long after, Senator Verbetten and Representative Hussein joined the state legislature, and they represent the area as well, and they're on board because they're like, what can we do for the North End? We even got support from Representative Betty McCollum, who earmarked federal funds for us, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that towards the end of this project, Deputy Mayor Tincher flew in off the top rope to clear some bureaucratic hurdles and helped us move forward so that our Snow Krylik project, Dolan Construction, could get started to dig. And that's what is in front of us today. I always hate when I mention people by name because I forgot somebody, I know it. Like Jessica Larson Johnston, my legislative aide right now, who is helping drive this thing over the finish line. And if I did forget your name, raise your hand and then point right at me. Because I'm sorry, but it took literally everybody here to get to this moment. And so thank you for allowing me to spend a little bit of time thanking the team, because a vision like this really does take a village to become a reality. And I feel like as we're digging here today, what we're really doing is putting a big heart in the middle of the North End. And I'm proud to be working with you to get it done. Thank you. This, and I do love this setting here. It's pretty cool. It shows you we need a place to play. So I get to introduce representatives. I mean, the whole legislature was involved, and I think you are going to talk to that, Senator Pappas and Senator Verbetten. But so why don't you come on up, and thank you for being part of this extraordinary project and doing something special for the North End. Let us welcome our senators.
All right. We're doing this as a team. I have to say that although we named a number of people that were very helpful, and Council President Brenmoon, your enthusiasm and your energy was amazing. Representative Hollins, you really pushed this over the finish line in the House, so thank you very much. And then Claire and I just had to make it come true from the Senate side. And what was, though, really the important thing, I think that was the most influential, was all of the young people, all of the ambassadors, you call them. You know, how can you turn down these wonderful kids who just want a place to play and learn and grow? So it was a wonderful experience to be involved with this. I mean, we don't usually fund neighborhood community centers. I think that now we're probably going to get a lot of requests for them. But, you know, sometimes you just have to do it. You have to do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's really important for our communities. And with our new equity lens, in particular, with capital investment bonding dollars, we're really looking at what our neighborhoods need to be successful for everyone in the neighborhood. And community centers, my Republican colleagues, they want to fund roads and they want to fund sewer projects. Okay, yeah, we need to do those. But you know what really makes a community thrive is that center. That community center where all ages can come and be together and learn about things and have a place to play and have a place to do sports and learn all the activities that Mayor Kirk Carter talked about that were available to him. So, Claire, take it away.
Thank you. Hi, folks. I'm Claire Verbetten. I represent this district. Senator Pappas and I both have parts of the North End, and we're so excited that we finally got the bonding dollars for the community center, and this is our community center. I just want to echo how much work Council President Brenmoen did on this, Representative Hollins. I keep telling folks on a lot of this legislation, like, I was just happy to carry it and take it across the finish line, but you all made this happen. So thank you so much. Before I served in the legislature, I worked at the city of St. Paul, and I loved it because we have the best staff. So can we give another round of applause to all the staff who make this happen? North End is just such a special place. I'm so honored to represent it. It is a growing and diverse community, and now we have that heart, right, that you talked about, Council President. The heart of the community is going to be here at our community center, at our North End Community Center. So I look forward to enjoying this with all of you, and I'd like to invite up our youth commissioner. Am I getting that correctly? Priya Stahning. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Priya Stahning. I'm a senior at St. Paul Central High School. This will be my 4th year serving on the St. Paul Youth Commission. Over 2 years ago, the St. Paul Youth Commission supported the North End Community Center by testifying and writing letters at the bond hearing that would help secure funding for the project. I personally wrote a letter to me and met with representatives to explain the importance of rec centers to not only our community, but to me personally. It's really amazing for me to be able to watch all of our work become reality. It shows that our work and our voices, especially as youth, truly matter and will have a long-term impact on our community. When I met with representatives to gain support for this project, I would often talk about the importance of rec centers to me, the importance of having a safe and welcoming space for everyone to go to, the opportunity to create relationships and connections, not just between youth, but between staff and youth, the ability for each individual to express themselves, whether that's through sports, art, dance, cooking, and more. I also know that Rice Recreation Center is currently sharing a building with Wellstone Elementary School, so they are limited within what resources and opportunities they can provide. In addition, the North End Community Center is going to be the first rec center with a designated badminton court. This rec center provides a lot of opportunities for all members of our community and a place we can come together. The North End Community Center is a much needed space for our community. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to help make this dream come true. Thank you so much for all of your support throughout this and for listening to me today.